Hello everyone and welcome back to another video of StudyRx. My name is Moses and today I'm going to be doing a short video on methotrexate, so I hope you enjoy. Most anti-cancer agents interfere with the cellular synthesis of DNA, RNA, and proteins. Let's run through a few basic principles of molecular biology. The genetic information is encoded in DNA by specific sequencing of subunits known as nucleotides. Each nucleotide consists of deoxyribose, a sugar, phosphoric acid, and a base. Practically, there are 4 bases that exist in the double helix DNA. 2 purines are going to be adenine and guanine, and in contrast to the 2 pyrimidines are thymine and cytosine. The nucleotide synthesis involves 3 sequential reactions. First is the synthesis of ribonucleotides. Second, the reduction of ribonucleotides to deoxyribonucleotides by ribonucleotide reductase. And third, the conversion of deoxyuridylate, DUMP, to deoxythymidylate, DTMP. So it's equally important to remember that an essential cofactor for the synthesis of purine ribonucleotides and DTMP is folate. The purine ribonucleotide synthesis is primarily composed of adenosine monophosphate, AMP, and guanine monophosphate, GMP, in which AMP is derived from the amination of inosine monophosphate, IMP, and then is reduced to form DAMP. GMP has an equally similar process except that it is derived from the oxidation of IMP, and then it is too reduced to form DGMP. Pyrimidine ribonucleotide synthesis involves uridylate monophosphate, UMP, and cytidine monophosphate, CMP. UMP is derived from the assembly of orotate and PRPP, while CMP is derived from amination of UMP and reduced to form DCMP. DTMP comes from the methylation of DUMP, and this reaction is catalyzed by thymidylate synthase, which has the abbreviations TYMS or TS, and with methylene tetrahydrofolate, MTHF, assisting as a methyl group donor. MTHF, the methyl group donor, will then be oxidized to dihydrofolate and then reduced to THF by DHF reductase, and this will be converted to MTHF. The conversion of DUMP to DTMP is important for DNA replication because an insufficient amount of DTMP leads to cell death. AntiFolates are a class of antimetabolite medications that antagonize the actions of folic acid. The reason why they can accomplish this is because antimetabolites are similar instructions to the nucleotides. The body is going to mistake these antimetabolites as anti-cancer agents for naturally occurring nucleotide bases, and this will metabolize the agents as if they were natural nucleotides. The primary antifolate that I'll be going over will be methotrexate. Antifolates are phase-specific in the cell cycle, primarily the S phase, and they inhibit the synthesis of nucleotides. So the key point to take from all of this is that antifolates stop the production, synthesis, or creation of nucleotides. This is important because nucleotides play a role as the building blocks of both DNA and RNA. Folate vitamins are essential cofactors in the DNA synthesis. They carry 1 carbon group that is required for purine and thymidylate acid synthesis. Being that it is folic acid analog, methotrexate will competitively inhibit DHFR. Again, it's important to note that methotrexate will competitively inhibit DHFR. What is DHFR? It's an enzyme that is important for biosynthesis of thymidine and purines. Actions of methotrexate are cytotoxic, immunosuppressive, and even anti-inflammatory actions. The intracellular formation of methotrexate polyglutamate metabolites, abbreviated as MTXPG, are catalyzed by polypolyglutamate synthase, FPGS. Methotrexate polyglutamate is selectively retained within cells, and there are 3 important actions to remember about methotrexate. First, methotrexate will inhibit DHFR. Second, methotrexate will inhibit thymidylate synthase, which may be abbreviated as TYMS or TS, and by doing so it will block the biosynthesis of the de novo purine and thymidylate nucleotides. Third, methotrexate will inhibit AMP deaminase. AMP deaminase is an enzyme responsible for the breakdown of adenosine. The cellular uptake of methotrexate will lead to the folate pathway. Within the cell, FPGS converts methotrexate to methotrexate polyglutamate, And the reason why this is important is because methotrexate polyglutamate will have a greater cellular retention than that of normal methotrexate. Methotrexate polyglutamate will also obstruct or hinder the generation of active forms of folate, inhibit the de novo pyrimidine synthesis, and also cause accumulation of ACAR in the de novo purine synthesis pathway. The reason why ACAR is equally important to understand is because ACAR inhibits adenosine deaminase, which is abbreviated as ADA, and ACAR also inhibits AMP deaminase. These multiple inhibition actions made by ACAR will cause an accumulation of adenosine, and the accumulation of adenosine leads to its anti-inflammatory activity. A final point that must be remembered about methotrexate is the severe toxicity profile that it comes with. A few of these toxicities are myelosuppression, hepatotoxicity, alopecia, and mucositis. It's equally important to know that a patient with renal insufficiency may run into an increased risk of hepatic accumulation, and this leads to hepatic toxicity or liver toxicity. The reduced folate supplementation that is used clinically for rescue is leucovorin, known as folinic acid, which bypasses the metabolic block induced by dihydrofolate reductase inhibitors. Cellular differences in polyglutamation like leucovorin will compete only with the free methotrexate but not with the methotrexate polyglutamate, which is used when binding to dihydrofolate reductase. Because of the lower levels of intracellular methotrexate polyglutamate, leucovorin can more effectively limit DHFR inhibition in normal as compared to malignant cells. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. The next video I make will be a quick summary of oncology medications. So until next time, stay safe, and I'll see you around. Take care.